Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene show. Today we're talking about the secret called proximity. Okay, you can go where you want to go, you can do what you want to do, you can be who you want to be in the world utilizing this secret of proximity. And I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips that you can utilize in order to empower yourself and move forward in a greater way using proximity. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat with and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below and join us.
Hi, we're back. So before I tell you the 5 quick secrets in terms of proximity, I want to tell you why we're talking about proximity, because I can hear the resounding gong of people saying, what's proximity? Why do we care about proximity? So it's not a word that people generally use. Maybe they use the word networking, or they use words that say, oh, you should have friends, win friends, and influence people. But the word we're using today is proximity, because it literally means that you're just getting close to the thing that you want, close to the thing that you desire, or to the people who have the things that you want and that you desire. And if you track it, which I've done, of course, because I'm really into this, I geek out on this stuff, I have looked at very many people who've been successful. And I've seen that the secret of proximity is in every case. So I'm going to start with me. Guys, every position that I've had, like sometimes I talk about this story about how I got invited to go to the inauguration of President Obama, or how I got invited to be recruited out of 300 people as a Chamber of Commerce president. But really, is it that I'm that amazing, or is it that I had proximity to the people who were in the room, who were making the decisions, who said, oh, what about that girl, Arlene? Okay, so this is the secret, guys, proximity. And as we look at every person that I can think of that's been successful, if we do a little bit of digging, we find that the secret of proximity was relevant. So Oprah Winfrey, very many people respect her and love her. But do you guys know who was Oprah Winfrey's roommate in college? Maria Shriver, guys, Maria Shriver, one of the Kennedys, okay? The Kennedy daughter. And during breaks, they would actually go to the Kennebunkport compound. So she was already hobnobbing with some of the leaders of the world. They're one of the most successful families of the world. So it was almost inevitable, you know, not to take anything from her talent and skill, but it was almost inevitable that she already had these contacts that were going to help to move her forward. Many people right now are talking about this concept of the Voting Rights Act. Okay, and I try not to talk about politics. I really don't like to talk about politics, but I'm going to tell you the Voting Rights Act, 1964, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. One of the key people that he had to work with was LBJ. He was the president at the time, and the two of them worked together to get this legislation passed. Okay, Congressman Elijah Cummings, an icon in our communities because he was so powerful. Well, gee, how did this young guy get to be in the position that he was in, where he was a world leader, not just a national leader, but a world leader? Who was the guy standing beside him? Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, he was on all his marches. He was right there beside him. And so when he moved forward or moved to the side because he went on, Elijah B. Cummings moved forward. Okay, and there's person after person. If you like sports, because you're like, oh, well, I'm not really into business. I'm not really into media. I'm into sports. Magic Johnson. I've talked about him before. Amazing basketball player, right? But now he's an amazing business owner. Why is he such an amazing business owner? He tells a story that while he was a major basketball player, he wasn't just hanging out with Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. He was actually hanging out with the owners of the teams. So when he transitioned, now he was no longer playing basketball. He called on his friends. He called on the people that he had proximity to help him to start this wonderful endeavor, which was a business in urban communities. Okay, so why is it that we have Starbucks in so many urban communities that we didn't have before? Magic Johnson. Okay, why is it that we have the Magic Johnson movie theaters and lots of business ventures that he did in urban communities? Because he was backing it, and because he had the content or the context or the proximity to the people who were already the owners of the teams and were already billionaires and multimillionaires. Okay, so let's get to the 5 secrets. So the first secret, in terms of proximity, now that I've explained to you why proximity is important, the first secret is to be clear about what it is that you want. Okay, so in order for the stars or the universe or God or whoever it is that whatever it is that you believe in, to bring that person to you, or even for you to go out and find that person that you need proximity with, you have to know what it is that you want. So I give you the example. With me, I wanted to move up in my career. I wanted to move up. And so when I had an opportunity and I was called on to be interviewed, and it was a group interview. Guys, group interviews are scary. But one of the gentlemen in the room was somebody that I knew. Okay, and I tell the story about how he was instrumental in my getting the job. I had moved to a new area. I didn't know anyone. I didn't pick up the newspaper and try to find a job. I didn't go online and fill out lots of applications. I went to the mall, guys. I went to the mall and I started talking with the people in the middle who were willing to talk to me. And one of them was a gentleman from a college. I was not looking to attend college. That's what he was selling. But while I was talking to him, eventually he said, well, what is it that you were interested in? Why are you here? Why are you talking to me? Because it's been a while. And I told him I was looking for a job. And he said, well, actually, he didn't work for the college. Actually, he was a business owner himself, but he was friends with the owner of the college. And he thought, wait, hey, I could connect you with the owner of the college. So when I did the group interview, I already knew somebody that was in the room. All right, proximity. But I was clear about what I wanted. I knew I was looking for a position, an administrative level position at a college or a university. Be clear about what it is that you are interested in. Who has your stuff? The second secret, you don't just need to know what you want, but you need to know who has it. So in terms of Magic Johnson, he knew that these business owners, the people who owned the teams, had what he wanted. So he spent time with them. He gained proximity to them. He tells the story. I love this story about how he was on a yacht with one of the business owners and the AC went out in the yacht. And so the owner told everybody they had to get off. And so he thought, okay, well, we're waiting for them to fix the AC. No. They were waiting for his second yacht to pull up so that they could get in. And he was like, wow, okay, I've learned something. This is the kind of lifestyle that I want, which also leads me to the program that I offer, which is Live Your Best Life. It's about living your best life, and it encompasses all 10 secrets of the 10 secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, and living your best life. Okay, so know who has your stuff, okay? In the case of Oprah Winfrey, she knew what she wanted to do. She knew she wanted to be actually an actress. And so when she got recruited by Quincy Jones, who was the one doing the movie The Color Purple, she wasn't the least bit shocked. She wasn't the least bit surprised because she knew exactly what it was that she wanted. Who has your stuff? Okay, even if it's not that person that ultimately opens the door for you, move toward that person, move toward talking with that person, move toward gaining a relationship with that person, because it may not even be that person. It may be the people around that person, somebody who pulls you in and says, hey, you're interested in this and I can help you. Okay, so we have to be active in terms of looking for the person that has our stuff. Let's go to business. So I had a business networking business in an area that needed a business networking venture. I spoke with our local senator, and she was able to attend my networking event. And as a result of her attending, tons and tons of business owners from the community began to attend. Now, the question is, well, how did you get that senator to come to your small little networking event? And I actually had people come to my office and ask me, how did you get that senator to come to your event right there in the urban community? Proximity. So I didn't really know the senator, but I knew someone else who was close to the senator, who had spent a good deal of money on the senator's campaign. So when I went to the senator's office with this person, the senator listened. Okay. And also another key, which I've talked about before, is about writing the plan. So when I went to meet with her, I had the plan, the business plan for what it was that I wanted to accomplish. And I also knew why I wanted to accomplish it. So she was willing to gain proximity with me because we had a mutual person in common. And then she read the plan, she believed in the vision, and then she worked with me. And because of her joining with me, that business venture became way more successful than it otherwise would have been. And like I said, the secret was it knowing her? Well, yeah, but it was knowing the other person. So I had spent time cultivating a relationship with that person. You say, how? Well, I had volunteered my time on working for somebody else, as a matter of fact, who was campaigning for their particular job. And I was just working for free. And I happened to be somebody at the table. And so because I was at the table, I was able to gain proximity with this person who was an influencer, who was able to then later on help me with my business. So sometimes that leads to secret number 3. We have to be strategic, guys. Strategic. Okay, so you say, well, Arlene, you were being conniving and you were plotting and scheming while you were able to move forward. Well, no, not really. I really did want to help the person that I was helping and volunteering my time to help. Did I know that the person who was influential would be at the table? Well, no, not really. Did I know that he would then help me with my business? That he would then say, well, what are you doing? No, but it all worked together. So I always talk about incremental moves, micro wins that lead you to the macro wins. Okay, so we have to start somewhere, which is also secret number 3, which is momentum. Do something in the direction of the thing that you want. Okay, so I was helping somebody else to achieve her goal, her vision, and her dream. And I was doing it voluntarily. And as a result, I gained proximity to the person that was able to help me. So sometimes that's the key secret, guys. We have to, their saying comes to mind, get in where you can fit in, or fit in where you can get in. But really the concept is just moving forward and doing the things that you can do now. Biblical perspective. Okay, everybody's heard of David. David is so amazing. Yeah, he was the king of Israel. But David had Jonathan. Otherwise, David would have been dead. Okay, so Jonathan was his friend. He had close proximity to Jonathan. So when Jonathan's father was trying to kill David, Jonathan stepped in and he said, listen, guy, my dad's trying to kill you. You need to move on. Okay, proximity to what he wanted. So he was near the king, even though he wasn't the king, but he was also developing a relationship with the king's son, which is what kept him alive. And then later on, caused him to be able to sit in that winning seat that he wanted. So you need to determine what it is that you want, determine who it is that you need proximity with, and then begin moving forward in that area. And we're about to take our little break, but we're going to come right back after this message. And I'm going to give you the last 2 secrets, which are the most powerful secrets that I have used to gain proximity to some of the great leaders of the world and people who've done amazing things. And as a matter of fact, there's only one person that I've ever wanted to meet or gain proximity with that I haven't gained proximity with. So you need to stay tuned for these 2 secrets. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene show, the show where you get to ask the questions and we answer them. So we've been talking about the 10 secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, and living your best life. And so today I'm giving you 3 quick tips about how to do that, live your best life and be the best version of yourself. But before I do that, I want to just let you know I'm again in sunny California, and I'm again on the side of another cliff. This is called Real Gigante Cliff. So as you can see behind me is some beautiful water, but if I were to step a couple of steps over, and I step too much, I could actually go over the precipice. But if I go too far in this direction, then you won't be able to see the water and I won't be able to enjoy the beauty. So this is just like life. We can either live dangerously and live on the very edge where we're highly stressed and we have dis-ease and we don't like our jobs and we're constantly complaining, or we can be just in the right place where we get to enjoy the beauty, we get to participate, and we get to live our best lives. So that's what I'm suggesting for you, that you live your best life and not live in dis-ease. And keep in mind, as I said before, that people are watching you, your loved ones, your children, the next generation. And so that's why coaching is so important and this stuff is so important. So the last 3 things that I want to share with you. Number 10 is get a coach. Get somebody to help you with the journey, okay? That's my bonus for you. And another bonus for you is health and fitness, okay? So we have a 5,000 step per day challenge. If you are physically fit and you feel good physically, you're gonna do well and you'll be better able to think in your business project or endeavor. And the last one, drum roll please. Can I have a little bit of drum roll for my last point? It is, of course, learn to speak. Like today I'm here on camera. Many of you have great things to share. You've come into this world to share something great and amazing, but you're just not confident about how to share the content that you have in your heart and in your mind. And so I'm inviting you to text below and share with us, you know, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to accomplish, and we'll help you to be able to talk about that thing either on air, on television, on radio, or even just doing a live like I'm doing today. So I want you to be the best version of yourself and achieve your goals and your dreams. Thank you for spending time with us today. And once again, www.askarleneshow.com.
Hi, welcome back. So I was talking about this program called Living Your Best Life, and I would love for you guys to contact me. It's at www.askarleneshow.com and get more information about how you can move forward and be your best self and live your best life, because all of these tools, techniques, and secrets are helping you to do just that. And I can give you more information once you share with me what exactly it is that you're endeavoring to accomplish. Okay, so the last 2 secrets in terms of proximity. Secret number 4. Guys, this is priceless. I had to get beaten up left and right in order to learn this one. He who talks first loses. Okay, so as you're on this journey, looking to and endeavoring to connect with people who are going to help you with your journey, whether you're trying to open or launch a beauty salon, or you're looking to move forward with your business and it's a networking business like I had, or it's coaching. Once you're approaching that person and you're asking that person for help and assistance for you to move forward, whether you're asking them specifically to be a mentor or just to work with you and be close with you, you need to stop talking. I know this sounds crazy, but guys, I worked in politics. I've worked as a director of career development. I've worked beside some of the people who are great leaders. And I've even had people come to me and ask me to mentor them. And they just keep talking and talking and talking and talking. Okay, so obviously we have been given 2 ears and 1 mouth. The idea is that we want to glean information and wisdom from that mentor, or information and wisdom from that person that we are seeking to gain proximity with, because they're doing the thing that we want to do, or they're having success in an area that we want to have success in. So the only way we're going to gain that information is for us to listen to the person and stop talking. And also, sometimes I share information with people and they begin arguing with me. They're like, no, that's not how it is, Arlene. You need to know. Well, why ask? Okay, so this is a key secret. When you're in the presence of the person that you want proximity to, or you're in the room with the people that you want proximity to, listen, okay? Because we need to be strategic. And the only way that we can be strategic is to listen to what that person is interested in and listen to what that person is sharing and connect what we're doing with what that person is interested in. And then they will be more inclined to want to help us. Just like the story that I told you about how I got help with my business from the senator. I was in the room where I was helping and I was serving, and I was just volunteering my time. I didn't get paid for it. I was just volunteering my time to help that other person. So I listened to what they were interested in, and I worked with them to support their venture. Okay, so listening is key. And so many people say, well, I'm going to wow them. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk and I'm going to tell them what I do, and they're going to be turned, touched, moved, and inspired. One of the greatest ways that you can impact someone is to actually listen to what they're saying. Everybody wants approval. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants to know that they're being heard and understood. And so when you do that, there's a shift. It makes you different from all the rest of the people that are also at the table, that are also seeking that person's attention and time and help. Okay, so this is key. Listen. Okay, he who talks first loses. All right, so you ask a question and then listen to the response. And let's say the response is not exactly what we want. You still sometimes need to just ask the question that you want and then listen, because your response will be based on what that person says. So let me give you an example. I was working for an elected official, and there was a lady who was homeless, and she needed a room that night for her and her kids. And it was a cold night, and there was a policy in New York City that said based on the criteria, she didn't qualify. And she really didn't qualify based on the general criteria, which is why I was calling this representative from Mayor Bloomberg's office, because he had the ability to make an adjustment for this one lady. So we got into it back and forth in terms of the ramifications of the program and how she didn't fit. But the reason I was calling was because of this particular lady's circumstances. So I was very knowledgeable about her circumstances, more so than him, because he didn't even know the lady, of course. And what really was clear was that I had put all of the information on the table, explaining how she had 2 kids, explaining how it was cold that night, explaining how this was just an exception for one night so that she could be able to then get into the office the next day and make her case before whoever she needed to make her case to. But we were just appealing so that she had someplace that night. And the gentleman listened. And after I had stated my case, he left the door open, because there was nothing more for me to say in terms of the criteria, and it was for him to respond. And we sat on the phone, because it was a phone call, for like a good minute before he said anything. I didn't say anything, and he didn't say anything. And I waited. And eventually, he said, okay. Okay, and it was a plebeic victory, because it didn't mean that I changed the entire system so that now, the system was changed in terms of the homelessness in New York. But in terms of that one request that I had, and in terms of what I was endeavoring to do in that particular juncture, it was a victory. It was a huge victory for that lady and her kids who needed a place to stay. So always remember, he who talks first loses. Okay, so put it out there, leave it, and listen. Okay, impactful, powerful secret, guys, I'm telling you. Okay, and the last one, we have the last few minutes. The last secret that's down there is he who's the most sure wins. Okay, so the whole show is about overcoming fear, getting unstuck, living your best life. I've told you, I've had these programs about how you can live your best life. We have the speaking program, how that you can learn to be a better speaker. So I'm constantly talking about speaking and doing and being. But now, secret number 5 in terms of proximity is just being sure. Okay, not doing anything, not talking, not moving, but just being sure in here. Because remember, guys, that being clear and being forthright and winning at this game of life is an inside game. Okay, I was listening to an interview with Venus Williams, and she was only 14 years old. And the interviewer was asking her how she thought she was going to do in the match. And she said, oh, I know I'm going to win this match. I know. And the interviewer asked her, well, how do you know you're going to win? And he kept asking her, how do you know that you're going to win? What is that based on? Because she hadn't played before. In terms of this particular match, she'd never played that person. But what I'm suggesting to you is that it was an inside game. She had already decided inside that despite all the circumstances, she was the best and she was going to win. And so when the interviewer was asking her, well, based on what? her father got really upset and he came from the dark. You guys can look this up online. It's so funny. But he came from the shadows and got in the interviewer's face and said, why do you keep asking her that same question? She said she was going to win. She said she was confident. Now leave it alone. And so that's what I'm sharing with you. Not actually coming from the shadows, not yelling and screaming, but the concept is the same. He who is the most sure on the inside is the one that wins. So when I went to that senator, this is another situation where I wanted to be in the room. I wanted to meet the vice president who was running for office at the time. And I went to another senator and I said to her that I'd like a ticket to go to this fundraiser. And the fundraiser was very pricey. I didn't have the funds for the fundraiser. And even if I did, I wouldn't have spent it on that. I probably would have spent it on a bill. And I went to her and I asked her for the ticket. And she told me, you know, not straight out, flat out, no, but she said, why would I give it to you? There are mayors, there are certainly more high level elected officials that I could give this ticket to. Why would I give it to you? And I really didn't have a valuable reason because she was right. There were more high-level elected officials that she could have given the ticket to. So why me? But one of the distinctions that I made at that time was that I was sure that I was going to get a ticket to that event. I did not know how I was going to get the ticket, but I was more sure that I was going to get the ticket than she was, that she wasn't going to give the ticket to me. And so those of you who have tuned in, you know the story of how eventually I showed up to the event. And there was a process of things that went on in between, but basically I dressed myself and I had on my gown like everybody else and my heels and my backless dress, and I was prepared just like everybody else, and I was at the event. I had no ticket. Okay, nor did I know for sure how I was going to get in other than just the inside game, which said, I know I'm going to get in. And when I got there, I asked for the lady. She was a senator. And because she probably didn't know who it was, but it was a high-level event, she figured somebody's asking for her, she better come out. So she did. And to make a long story short, I got the ticket. So thank you very much for spending the time with me. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you to the team, Gary, our program manager. Thank you so much. And I would invite you guys to please go and sign up so that we can have a conversation and I can help you to move forward in that business, project, or endeavor. Once again, www.askarleneshow.com. Thank you. Bye-bye. Subscribe too to the show and share it. If you think there was any value in this, share it with somebody else. And also okay, when you're viewing this after the television program on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and like and share.
I've decided that I'm a good person and that I deserve good things to happen to me. And therefore I've decided that I'm going to pamper myself as much as possible. I'm going to look for as much fun. I'm going to look for as much fulfillment. I'm going to look for as much ease. I'm going to follow my ease. I'm going to follow my bliss. I'm going to follow my flow. I'm going to follow the good feeling. I'm going to I've decided that I'm a good person and that I deserve good things to happen to me. And therefore I've decided that I'm going to pamper myself as much as possible. I'm going to look for as much fun. I'm going to look for as much fulfillment. I'm going to look for as much ease. I'm going to follow my ease. I'm going to follow my bliss. I'm going to follow my flow. I'm going to follow the good feeling. I'm going to
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always